What is going on, my Guardian gamers? It is I, Byrdman, back with another Destiny 2 build, and today I'm going to be showing off a really solid solar grenade Warlock setup. I know I haven't really done a whole lot of Warlock stuff, so I want to kind of do one essentially for each of these subclasses, and this one for solar is actually really freaking good, and I've been running it through some high-end lost sectors and GM content and been doing pretty good with it. So wanted to show it off. But before we get into the video, know you can follow me over on YouTube or Twitter at Byrdman778. Give a thumbs up on this video. Let me know something you're interested in seeing down below, whether it is Titan, Hunter, or Warlock. Become a member and subscribe to the channel. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's jump right on into this setup. Now, as always, we like to show off the exotic that we're going to be using for this setup first, and that is going to be Verity's Brow. I think this actually could be probably a top 3 exotic for Warlock because of that armor perk, the 4th magic. Weapon final blows with a damage type matching your subclass energy grants death throws, which provides a grenade damage bonus and grants you grenade energy. When you have death throws and throw a grenade, nearby allies can greatly increase grenade regen for a short time. This one is just really solid again for that GM level content, purely off the fact that it's able to essentially one-shot champions if you are able to stun them with your grenade. Now, a lot of that is going to also come from our subclass and how we have that set up. So I'll show you that in a second, but that death throws is really nice. And again, it's really great for your teammates as well. Being able to keep that grenade energy up as long as you humanly can is always going to be very valuable for everyone around us. Now, when it comes to the subclass, Dawnblade, obviously for the super, I recommend Well of Radiance just because it's just going to be the best for endgame content all around, not only for yourself, but also your teammates. Being able to provide that restoration, the radiance, and also all of those other effects in an area around you is definitely beneficial. When it comes to the ability wise, I recommend Healing Rift purely off the fact that, again, that's always going to be a really great get out of jail free card, and also one of our fragments consistently keeps this up for us so that we're not really having to worry about anyone sneaking up on us and getting us killed. For your charged melee, it's kind of up to you. Honestly, I've been going with the Incinerator Snap purely off the fact that it's a shorter cooldown, but with, again, some of the fragments that we're going to be using for this setup, the Celestial Fire is definitely a really good option if you are looking for something a little bit more long range. For our grenade, I recommend the Fusion Grenade. Now, one of our aspects is going to give all of our different grenades different effects. The Fusion Grenade, in my opinion, is the best because of the fact that it's going to be able to explode twice. Now, obviously, we're going to talk about that here in a second when we go over the aspect, but the Fusion Grenade already has really solid damage to it, and also scorching targets and being able to create those ignitions is very valuable. When it comes to those aspects, that one that's going to really help out a grenade is the Touch of Flame. Again, like I mentioned before, it's going to give our fusion grenades a second explosion. So again, we're going to be able to take out those champions much easier. Also, in fact, remember, whenever it does that second explosion, essentially like in the second effect of the grenade itself, so it's going to also ignite targets. So you're just getting really high explosions right there. Really nice. The other one I recommend is going to be Heat Rises. You can fire weapons, melee, and throw grenades while gliding. And if you hold to consume a grenade, gaining Heat Rises and releasing a burst of healing energy that cures nearby allies. The strength of this burst is increased when the healing grenade is consumed, so that's just only if you use the healing grenade. And final blows while airborne increase the duration of Heat Rises and grants melee energy. So all around, just really solid. Now, when it comes to our fragments, what we're going to be using, I first off recommend Ember of Torches. Your powered melee attacks against combatants make you radiant. Obviously, that's going to not only increase damage of our weapons, but also give them the radiant effect to break barriers. So we really enjoy that. But again, remember, these are just attacks. We don't have to kill anybody, so as long as it makes contact, you're good to go. Ember of Singeing, your class ability recharges faster when you scorching targets. One of the weapons we're going to be using for this setup is really great for scorching targets and getting that going, but also remember, any weapon that has like incandescent, after you get a kill with it, is going to activate and is going to scorch targets, so that will be also a really solid option for you. Ember of Blistering, defeating targets with solar ignitions grants grenade energy. This one's a bit of a flex spot, but I have been noticing with the weapon I've been using, I'm constantly getting those ignitions, so I'm getting that grenade back pretty fast. So it's really nice. And then finally, Ember of Searing, defeating scorch targets grants melee energy and creates a fire sprite. This is great for 2 reasons. One, it's going to get us our melee back, so we're able to constantly keep up that radiant, but also the fire sprites are nice for getting that grenade energy. Now, kind of going back one quick thing, I mentioned that Blistering is a bit of a flex spot. This is one where I would say you could probably swap it out for something like Ember of Mercy, where those fire sprites that you're going to pick up from Ember of Searing will actually give you restoration so that you're getting a little bit of healing from there. Again, kind of up to you. I haven't really noticed an issue with it, purely about the fact that, again, Healing Rift is so powerful. Now, I always like to highlight the creme de la creme exotic weapon that I would like to use for this setup, and that is going to be the Prometheus lens. You've been around my channel, you know that I'm hot and bothered when it comes to, you know, trace rifles. I love them so much. They're everything to me. And the intrinsic trait on the Prometheus lens reads, fires a solar trace beam that creates a field of heat energy that grows as the weapon is fired. Sustained damage applies scorch to the target. So right then there, having that scorch effect is really nice, just because we're going to sustain fire on pretty much any target that we're shooting. So that scorch is going to activate, and then we're also going to get some solid ignitions from it. Also, flame refraction kills with this weapon, return some ammo to the magazine. Definitely really nice. Now, if you're cool enough, you're going to get the Prometheus catalyst. Defeating targets spreads scorch to those nearby. More powerful commands and opposing guardians cause scorch in a larger radius. Again, really great for killing one enemy. Everyone else is going to get scorched, and a lot of that scorch effects are going to help out our fragments, so everything is working in cohesion with each other really well. When it comes to the armor perks I recommend for this, first off, on your helmet, a harmonic siphon, just because you're mainly going to be using those solar weapons, might as well just use that. I've been using an ashes to assets, but honestly, that's one that can be swapped out for like a heavy ammo finder if you really feel like it, because the dynamo, using your class ability on your targets, reduces your super cooldown, is pretty efficient for this. Again, kind of completely up to you. Also, maybe consider even like maybe a targeting mod if you really feel like it, but ashes to assets is still going to be useful for you. On our gloves, I recommend a grenade kickstart so that we're getting that grenade back a little bit faster after we activate it. An impact induction so that whenever we cause damage to the grenade, it gives us a little bit of our melee back, and then also a boltering detonation so that whenever we get those grenade kills or damage, we're getting a little bit of ability back as well. Chest piece is a bit of a flex here. I would pretty much just recommend, no matter what, getting it charged up. But if you in these other two slots, I'd probably recommend a concussive dampener of some sort. I mainly just right now have on harmonic reserves for some more ammo. But at the same time, again, like I truly recommend concussive dampener if you can. I just have really horrific armor on my Warlock because I'm a Titan crayon eating main, and that's mainly what I play. When it comes to our legs, first off, I recommend recuperation so that we get some health on those orb pickups, as well as an innervation so that, again, those same orb pickups, we're going to get some grenade energy, and then stacks on stacks so that whenever we pick up an orb of power, it counts as 2 armor charges. And then finally, on our class item, I like a distribution just so that I get cooldown whenever I activate that class ability near people, a Reaper so that I'm able to get an orb of power after my first kill when I activate it, and then a powerful attraction to pull in all those orbs that are around me. Now with our seasonal artifact, definitely want to get those solar orbs on the 4th column. I recommend an overload if you're just, you know, using a machine gun, you need to take on overload champions. That's the main part about solar that doesn't really work well. It doesn't work well with overload, so definitely recommend doing that. An elemental fury is always going to be necessary, as well as the refreshing pickups. And in the final column, monochromatic maestro so that you're getting a little bit more damage. And then I like the elemental munitions for some more heavy ammo drops whenever I get a kill with a elemental orb. Now, kind of going over how this is able to work in endgame content. First off, on the barrier effect, one, you can just put on whatever the anti-barrier whatever is, but solar gives us our radiant effect, and radiant is going to be able to pierce barriers, so definitely do that. With unstoppables, obviously, again, any anti-unstoppable or getting ignition effects on those targets. And then finally with the overload, again, that's just going to be one where you're just going to have to match it up with something. For this season, I've been using a lot of the machine guns just because they're pretty useful. Thanks so much for watching the video. Hope you guys really enjoyed it. Again, I know morale is pretty low right now when it comes to the Destiny community, just a bunch of stuff coming out and stuff, but there are still people working on this game and trying to make it the best they humanly can. So I'm going to do my best to continue to support them as much as I humanly can. Probably not going to be pre-ordering anything anytime soon or buying any silver in the shop, but I still really want to make these videos and show off some stuff for the people who are just, like, you know, doing free to play or still sticking around. So again, if you want to help support, make sure you're giving a thumbs up on this video, commenting something down below. Those two things specifically help us out so immensely much. So definitely appreciate any love with that. Also subscribing and becoming a member, and follow me over on YouTube and Twitter at Byrdman778. Thanks so much, everybody. Hope you have a great night, day, or whatever it may be.